Hey there guys, this is Sam
And Justin.
at the Survival Review, and today we're going to be talking about a movie that, as of the day that we're filming this, doesn't exist anymore.
No.
At least not according to the Halloween canon.
No.
And that is Halloween 2.
Yes.
The original
Yes.
Halloween 2.
The movie that, for all these years, has always been like the follow-up to Halloween.
Yes.
No matter what continuity you watched, no matter what new timeline they created, this was always the sequel.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of weird that now we have a new sequel that's just like, nah, that didn't happen.
Now there's another timeline.
Yeah.
Yay! In this movie, I mean, it's Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect from Halloween 2? It's not the greatest movie ever.
No.
It's definitely flawed.
Yeah.
But it's
nowhere near the quality of the first one.
nowhere even close. But as far as like an early 80s slasher movie, it's pretty solid.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good things like going for it, for the fact that pretty much everyone that worked on the original worked on this one.
Yes.
Like, the only real difference is that John Carpenter didn't direct it,
Yeah.
but he still wrote it and like helped do the score for it. Granted, he doesn't consider the script his best work,
Yeah.
seeing that he attributes the main twist at the end to just a long night and too many beers, because he couldn't think of anything to do for a Halloween 2.
Yeah. I mean, as a follow-up, it worked.
Yeah, and the best part is that they captured the tone and the spirit of the first one.
Yes.
Because plot-wise, this movie is really interesting in that it literally picks up right where the first one ended.
Yeah.
It's the same night. The continuation of the night. As the very original tagline goes, it's more of the night he came home.
Yeah, very descriptive, because
Yeah.
that's exactly what the movie is.
And they really try hard to capture like the feel of the original, and for the most part, it's pretty successful.
Yeah.
Rick Rosenthal directs it this time, and you could tell he really tries to capture like that John Carpenter camera work, like slow kind of panning shots and the wide shots, so just like Michael obscured in the corner and stuff like that. He really tries to capture that, and he does it pretty successfully.
Yeah, a lot of the suspense that you feel from the original movie does kind of translate to this movie.
Yeah.
It's a little less subtle.
Yeah.
And that's where this movie just becomes, your traditional sort of slasher movie.
Yeah, because the story of this, like I said, picks up right after the original. Dr. Loomis, played by the great Donald Pleasence, he's still on the trail. He's still trying to stop Michael Myers, while Laurie Strode, after what happened in the last movie, she's being transferred to a hospital. And so she's kind of in the hospital, and Loomis is on the run, and Michael is going after Laurie still. So he goes to the hospital. And the thing about this one is that the original, is bloodless. There's no gore, there's no over-the-top death scenes.
Yeah, it's all about the suspense, and that's what scares you.
Yes.
This movie,
It goes straight for the gore.
yeah, pretty much.
Like, the later Halloween sequels tend to have, like, gory, like, set pieces at sometimes, but this has always kind of been known as, like, the extreme one,
Yeah.
just because, like, it just tries to go, like, ridiculous with its death scenes, like, using, like, syringes and, like, dousing people's heads in boiling water.
I mean, this was around the time when slasher movies were, like, at their peak.
Yeah.
It's 1981.
Yeah.
A lot of slasher movies coming out.
The
So
year after Friday the 13th, you know?
So it had some stuff to compete with as far as violence
Yeah.
and gore goes.
And weirdly enough, that was actually John Carpenter's decision.
Yeah.
The original like cut of the movie was actually a lot more subtle and more like built on suspense, and he's just like, well, this movie's not going to sell like nowadays with the slasher craze. So he actually, I think it's rumored that he went in and actually reshot some of the death scenes to make them gorier,
Really?
just because like just to appeal to like the audience of that day.
Huh.
And some of this movie has kind of like the Jaws 2 effect,
Yeah.
where it's just nice to see these people again, to see these characters. You get the beginning scene and you have, Dr. Loomis talking to Sheriff Brackett, and you're like, oh, I love those two guys, and they're back.
Yeah.
Oh, the Sheriff Brackett just kind of disappears after like 2 scenes into the movie.
But he's there, so...
But you have Donald Pleasence, which, you know what, I will say, like, even with the new film and all the later sequels, one thing they'll never have is Donald Pleasence.
He's so good.
Like, to me, he's kind of like the heart of this franchise. Like, I'm sorry, Jamie Lee Curtis. It's Donald Pleasence.
It
hands
really
down.
is. He's so great.
Yeah.
Fantastic in the original, but like some of my favorite Donald Pleasence stuff is in this movie too.
Yeah. Like, he has more monologues about how evil Michael Myers is. There's more of that.
Yeah, him just generally being kind of an asshole to everybody, just
He is.
because he's so dedicated to going and
Yeah.
getting Michael.
The whole ending of this movie is just Loomis in charge.
Yes.
Holds a cop at gunpoint.
Yes.
What does you fellas usually do? Fire a warning shot, right?
He's the kind of character you really, really love in these movies
Yeah.
because he's the guy that gets shit done.
He really is. Yeah. And kind of disappointing performance, but also it's kind of the script's problem too, is Laurie Strode.
Yeah.
So, like, Jamie Lee Curtis, in the first film, yeah, she was scared and running around, but she was resourceful. She was still, like, a strong character in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So this movie, she spends the entire movie in a hospital bed.
Yes.
And then the whole climax is just her running like a damsel in distress, basically.
Pretty much being kind of injured and like crawling some of the time,
Yeah.
only when the script needs it to.
Yeah, and only screaming when the script needs it to.
Yes, there's one really frustrating moment for me. I've always hated it because she, for some reason, can't find the strength to scream until Dr. Loomis and the other people go into the hospital, and then she screams her lungs off. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, why?
Yeah. And it's such a step down from her character in the first one, who was like this relatable, likable character.
Yeah.
And this one, she's just there. Like, she's got nothing.
Yeah.
Like, she kind of just disappears from the middle half of the movie.
Which is nothing against her performance.
No.
Again, all that's in the writing.
It's just what she was given.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it stinks because she could have been utilized a lot more.
Oh yeah, it could have been a lot more interesting stuff done with them. The rest of the cast in the movie is kind of typical slasher
Yeah.
movie cast. No one's really that special because the bulk of the cast is all like the nurses and the guys in the hospital. All of them are pretty typical, slasher movie stuff, except for Bud.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like the best character aside from Loomis in this movie.
Bud is great.
But yeah, he's just so entertaining.
Every other word you say is either hell or shit or damn.
Sorry. I guess I just fuck up all the time.
And also I think what kind of doesn't work with the characters is that I think there's a little too many characters.
Yeah.
They all appear kind of sporadically throughout.
Yeah, it's a lot to keep up with, and
Yeah.
like you said, it's so sporadic that you'll see a character in one scene and not see him again for
Yeah.
like quite a while.
You have like the blonde hair one who appears in like a scene or two at the beginning and then disappears for the rest of the movie, and then she's one of the last surviving people at the end. You're
Yeah.
like, okay, who's that?
Oh.
Like, alright.
She made it.
Yeah.
Yippee.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I feel like if kind of like maybe if you cut down on some of those characters and then try to develop the widower cast that they would have had, then would have been a little bit better.
I agree.
And also the middle half kind of is just kind of people hanging out in a hospital. In the most conveniently dead hospital like ever.
Yeah, there's nobody in the hospital.
Nobody. You have this hospital that like, there only seems to be like a ward of babies. That's about it.
Yeah.
There's like no one else to tend to.
Which is weird because one character's like, "Oh, I'm running late. They're gonna be so mad." It's just like,
There's no one
nothing
there.
here. What are you running late for?
Yeah. The only doctor in the movie who's just drunk.
Yes, he's just
He
drunk.
came from a party, the same party that the Strode family was at.
Yeah.
And he's just like drunk. You're just like stumbling around. I'm like, oh, hi, Laurie.
Yeah.
Why?
You're gonna be fine. Let me give you a shot.
Yeah. It doesn't go anywhere, but it's like a random like quirk.
Yeah, it's a strange little character trait.
You have the Jimmy character, who's kind of like, in a way, a love interest for Laurie.
Sort of. I mean, he seems more into her than she seems into him.
Yeah, but like his character, like the way they kind of develop at the end is, it doesn't have much of a payoff. You have the one scene where he discovers the dead body of the nurse, and of course, like he gets up to like run away and slips and slams his head on like the bloody floor.
Yeah.
And then later on, when Jamie Lee Curtis, when she gets out of there and she's hiding in a car, he kind of gets in and thinks he's gonna save the day, but then he kind of just like passes out. But then you never see him again, and you're like, oh, is he
Yeah.
dead?
He
And
just
that-
he disappears.
I mean, unless you've seen the TV cuts. Because he makes it at the end. He's in the ambulance at the end with her.
Really?
Yeah. He makes it. So if you've seen the TV cut, he's all good.
I've still never seen the TV cut, so.
The TV cut is something. The whole scene where the one nurse like goes to see the doctor, and she finds him with a syringe in his eye.
That's not there?
That entire scene is missing from the TV cuts.
So the doctor just disappears from the
And
movie?
she just disappears from the movie. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Which I do like that scene though. Just
Yeah,
speaking of
that
that
was
scene,
cool.
it's a lot of like good lighting in that scene. They recreate the iconic Michael's face kind of fades in the background, and they do it like pitch perfectly. It's not as effective as the original, but they recreate it pretty well. The one thing they don't recreate quite well, they don't pull off quite well, I feel like, is the chase scenes.
Yeah.
The final chase scene between Laurie and Michael is pretty clunky.
Mm-hmm.
John Carpenter knew how to shoot it to where it's like, oh, this dude's walking towards you, and it's somehow suspenseful, and you're on the edge of your seats. But when it happens to this one, it's like, Michael, move it. Come
Yeah.
on.
Especially in the part where she's in the elevator.
Yes.
And very clearly Michael could just move a little quicker.
Yeah, he doesn't have to run. He can just move a little bit faster.
Yeah. You know, he's the shape. It doesn't move quick. But like, come on.
Yeah,
And he
it-
puts his hand in the thing and
Yeah.
then he closes it.
It just wasn't
like,
executed too well. It was very clunky. That last chase scene just doesn't really work.
yeah.
Speaking of Michael, Dick Warlock is the guy who plays him. I know this stuff because I'm full of useless Halloween information.
I knew that because I laughed at his name in the credits. So.
He was the stunt double for Kurt Russell in a lot of his 80s movies, including
Oh.
Escape from New York.
That's neat.
Anyway, he plays Michael in this movie, and he comes off as a little too robotic. He doesn't quite have like the movement of like Nick Castle in the original.
Yeah.
And it's a lot evident in that final chase scene.
That's when it's most obvious that he's like doesn't have quite the same mannerisms.
Yeah.
But
I think you get to the big reveal in this movie, which is, I mean, it's not a spoiler because everyone knows this. I mean, until the new one got rid of it. So they reveal that Laurie Strode is Michael Myers' sister.
yeah.
And you could tell it was just added on because we needed another twist.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like a very standard scene of just the nurse from the first movie telling Loomis in the car.
And I guess it does sort of provide a reason for him to be so attached to Laurie and to be desperate to kill her specifically. But yeah, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, like, I've gotten really accustomed to it, like, in the subsequent sequels, so I don't really mind it. I don't think of it as, like, a terrible thing. Like, I know a lot of fans hate that. I'm like, it's fine. I'm used to it. It is what it is. But you can clearly tell it's kind of like an add-on.
It's bizarre. Which is some of this movie.
The scene where Loomis and Brackett are just kind of combing the streets.
Yes.
And they see a kid walking by with the Michael Myers mask. They freak out. He's like, oh, it's Michael.
It's Michael. They go chasing after him.
Of course, Loomis, gun in hand, just ready to shoot him.
Chasing after this guy. And then, out of nowhere, a cop car zooming down the road pins him up against another car.
And blows up.
It blows up, and the cop gets out of the car, and he's just like,
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
what? We're going like 90 miles an hour. It's the most absurd thing ever. And like, yeah, one of the weirdest parts of this movie.
Yeah. Also, I love the little detail that they mentioned that guy's name is Ben Tramer. And in the original Halloween, that's the name of the one guy that Laurie was interested in. And she was like, they're talking about the dance. She's like, well, I'd rather go with Ben Tramer.
I didn't even know that.
I love that they threw that in there.
That's funny.
Yeah, so just like great attention to detail.
For sure.
I do like the ending though of the movie too. I thought it has a lot of great build up and like the actual final shot. Like this movie was supposed to be like supposed to actually kill off Michael. Like they weren't gonna do any more Michael Myers movies. Hence Halloween 3 came afterwards, and it's done very well. Like if they wanted to definitively kill off Michael, they pulled it off in this movie. Okay, there's the impossible thing of Laurie perfectly shooting out his eyes.
Yeah. And him living.
Yeah, but then it leads to that amazing image of just the blood tears, which is so
And it's
awesome.
one of those things where it's like absolutely absurd, but the imagery of it is kind of worth it, and you just kind of brush it under the rug.
But I love the build-up with the music at the end because Loomis comes in and he's kind of like slashing because he can't see anything, and then like they're like unhooking like the gas, and the music is building, and he brings up the lighter and he's like, "It's time, Michael."
It's time, Michael.
I love it.
I agree. I think it is a solid ending for an okay movie.
I do like it for what it is. It's a fun slasher movie. I love watching it around this time and right after the first Halloween movie.
Yes, it's a good one to watch immediately after.
These two movies, like the first two, the original ones, like we had the original core crew. It has Dean Cundy like filming it. Dean Cundy photography that looks amazing. Like these two movies just kind of this like great feel to them. I really like, and I love watching it. Like I said, around this time and right after the first one. It goes very well coming right after the first one.
Yeah, flawed, but a good enough sequel.
It goes a little too far in like the slasher element. It's like really brutal. They could have scaled back on the gore, made it a little bit more suspenseful. That would have made it a more perfect follow-up. But it's a really solid follow-up. That's been the sequel to Halloween for 30 plus years.
Yeah. And, it still kind of is.
Yeah, that one's always kind of going to be like the true Halloween sequel, even if it's not that great of a movie, just because like it always has been like, oh yeah, there's been like long night where all these people got murdered, and like if you're a Halloween fan, you've kind of known it as that.
That's the night.
So I feel like it'll always kind of be in a way like the true sequel to Halloween, and I'm not saying that as like it's the true sequel. I just mean like, it just will always feel that way. So that's Halloween 2.
Yeah, not
solid
bad.
movie.
If you enjoy the first Halloween and you somehow haven't seen this one yet, check it out.
It's essentially the first movie just on a bigger budget.
Yeah, but we're still not done talking about Halloween.
No.
Yeah, we actually want to talk about one more Halloween movie
Yes.
on Halloween.
Yes.
And so until next time, we'll see you guys later.